Welcome to another edition of the Dental Today podcast. Thank you for stopping by. This is brought to you by labmediatv. My name is Hezekiah Morales, and here we go. Remember to follow us on social media at labmediatv.
On this week's episode, we will be speaking with Mr. Greg Everett and Mr. Nick Alonge from Sierra Dental Tool. Mr. Greg Everett is the Vice President of Operations for Sierra Dental Tool. He has extensive experience with dental CAD/CAM, has worked with several milling systems, is adept in using and troubleshooting software, and stays current with industry materials and production methods. Mr. Nick Alonge is the Business Development and Customer Service Manager at Sierra Dental Tool. He is also a second-generation dental laboratory technician with over 20 years of experience and is exceptionally well-versed in manual and lab processes. He has high-level expertise in training, tech support, and troubleshooting throughout the dental lab. Those who know him know that he is extremely passionate about helping labs thrive.
Greg, Nick, welcome to the Dental Today podcast. How you folks doing today?
Fantastic.
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
So great to have you folks here, and it's been a crazy last couple of weeks, 3 months here, and it's so great to hear from you folks. I saw you, Nick, on the floor. We chatted for a little bit. Greg, I just saw you down one of the elevators very briefly, but I didn't have the opportunity to stop and chat with you folks. Chicago was a great show, but we didn't have the opportunity to really connect. So I'm glad that we're able to have you on the show. I know you guys have been working hard to support the industry in this time, and I will like to get into that. But just so that our listeners can begin to know who you guys are, what your background is. Nick, I know you are a dental technician. How did you get involved in dental?
It's family-based. My dad had a dental lab, managed dental labs. My mom worked for a dentist. So it was kind of inevitable that I was getting into this field, and I love it. So that's what I like to offer, support and everything I've been through to help you guys out.
That's fantastic.
And, I've got kind of a similar background, not family, but, family friend hired me into a lab and grew from sweeping floors to running things over the course of 10 years and learned how to break everything and fix everything. And I really enjoy helping people figure things out.
That's important. And it's so great to have you folks supporting the industry in your capacity. But with that lab background, I think it just adds to the value of what you have to offer and what you bring to the table. So I think that's fantastic. And so I know that this, again, everything that's been going on has been, how can we say, there has been no manual to be able to navigate the waters that we've been navigating in the last couple of months. So in your capacity, Greg, you're the VP of operations there at Sierra Dental Tools. How has this all been for you in the past couple of months?
It's been interesting. We'll say that. The entire industry, not even just our industry, but worldwide economy, everything has changed. We try to have a positive outlook, and our focus, even before this came, was to educate and to support, and effectively we've just doubled down, tripled down on that. And between Nick and I, we spend a lot of time on the phone with end users, and supporting our distributor, it's about just making sure that people have an effective use of the technology of the products and are able to be as efficient as possible, because you gotta get tighter in these times. Things are a little lean as a dental lab, and Sierra, our main interest is to stand there and help with the lab.
Absolutely. And Nick, you're big on training and supporting, as Greg was mentioning. And so due to the fact that, again, we're in lean times right now, have you spent a lot more time on the phone than you did before, or how's that working for you?
Yeah, it's a little different because usually I'm working to solve a problem that the customers come to us or asking for help. This time it's given me the ability to they call in and say, hey, can you show me how to do this? I have the time to learn. So it's the ability to teach somebody how to fish rather than fishing for them and getting them back out there. So it's been time consuming for sure, but it's way more rewarding because that customer is finishing the case, they're getting it out, or they're practicing and being able to really fine tune their design movements. So they're not doing 150 moves, they're down to 25, 26. They're machining, they're adjusting strategies to make it the surface texture coming out the way they want. So when the production comes back, they're a little bit quicker, the product's a little bit nicer. And then all the way to glazing, they're learning different glaze techniques. And, maybe they're revamping how they're moving the case through the entire lab because they had to shrink it down and then regrow it the way that's more efficient. So it's been neat to be part of that for a lot of different labs that have called us for just, hey guys, what's going on? And then we answer and help them out to the best of our abilities because both Greg and I have gone from one-man labs all the way up to large milling centers, been involved in supporting people on a plethora of different equipment. So there's a lot of knowledge the two of us have that we're kind of just erupting with it to help people whenever we can.
One of the most satisfying things for me, and I'm sure Nick, is you get off the phone with somebody. It might have been a 3-hour phone call, but you feel like you might have changed their life by showing them, hey, here's something you can do in your workflow that's going to change you, save you an hour and a half a day, going forward. And when that happens for me occasionally, and it really just makes my day. And I think that one of the key things during this kind of lean, challenging time is showing laboratories that, hey, it's an opportunity to reflect and look at your workflows, look at your efficiency, and come out of it stronger.
Very interesting. Very interesting how you mentioned just having the opportunity to sit down with someone and explain the whole process, because I believe with the technology that we have available to us, we get wrapped up in a lot of things, and we forget to really go into the manual and try to understand why we press the button and what it actually does and what's the processes that are behind that actually make the end product what it is. And I think that's great that you guys are definitely taking time to do this. And so Nick, you recently joined the last couple of months this work with Greg. How's that been for you, coming on board and then being bombarded with all this COVID?
I think it's been exciting because, I'm used to just taking support calls and just helping people in that realm or trying to get sales. And this turned into reflecting on myself on what can I offer everybody that's slightly different than, just getting a webinar on how to design something. Actually going down into a little bit of what is it that they need and emphasizing that particular aspect.
So Greg, as the VP of operations here, there are a lot of conversations that I'm assuming that have been changing with laboratory owners and folks that are running their lab at home. What is the biggest, let's call it the biggest question, or the most asked question that you're answering?
It's funny. Probably the most common one is, what machine should I buy? Because one of the interesting things that I've noticed, and I really didn't expect it to happen with this whole situation, was we're actually seeing labs kind of look inward and say, okay, maybe it's time to buy another piece of equipment and automate a little bit more in the process. And so I've noticed, I get that question all the time, but I've definitely noticed an uptick in that. And my answer for that is a little bit, I guess, I don't want to politicize it or anything because there's camps, but the best machine is the one for your application, for your business case. You've got open, you've got closed, you've got, big, small, powerful, less powerful. and there's not one machine that's best for everything. And so, I take that conversation offline and I say, okay, here's, what are you doing? What are you making? How many are you doing? What's your main material? And then we can make an assessment from there. But yeah, that's the takeaway from that is labs are actually buying equipment, which is a little bit not intuitive to me, at least. Nick, do you have any thoughts on that?
Wow. I'm the same way you are. I'm seeing a huge uptick in purchases and phone calls for the same thing. Like, hey, my employee's not coming back. I need another mill. What mill should I buy? And then the same type of deductions are, what are you cutting? What do you want to do? What's your outcome? What's your price point? Those are all points to help choose or select a machine for people. Because, one machine today will be a little bit different than the machine tomorrow, depending on what material I'll be expecting to cut or wanting to cut. Dentures are a big thing right now. So the people are leaning towards that side. So we're making tools to help speed up the process of machining dentures. So there's that avenue,
Yeah, well, I think as we get into that, we'll talk about what we're doing to innovate on some of those points. But yeah, it's interesting, and I think that this entire phase that we're in as an industry, I think everybody's going to come out stronger. The people have strong, solid operations. The need for dentistry isn't going anywhere.
That's right.
And so when I look at it, okay, this is a blip. This is an opportunity to look inward and figure out better ways of doing production, doing business. You'll get me on a ramble here, but one of the things that I come across a lot is like laboratories don't track their inventory. We don't know how many pucks we have. We don't know how many, grinding discs or whatever it is. It's all an ad hoc, as needed sort of ordering system. And, that's one of the recommendations I make to people is like, let's look at the business case. Inventory is a really important part of your operation. And, there are monetary efficiencies that you can find there. And by the way, I think you'll find by talking to us that neither me and Nick are just tooling guys. We're lab industry guys. We love the industry, and we want people in the industry to do well, no matter what size they are.
That's definitely a very interesting point that you brought up. There are labs that are not focused on their inventory, and let's just call it certain administrative processes that I believe can streamline a business in a wonderful way, actually. I mean, when we look at the numbers and production and process optimization, administration, just making sure that those processes are set properly are so important. And so what you guys are doing now, I know that there could be the misconception of your company just providing tools. Obviously, we've already debunked that with the first couple of minutes of our conversation here. There's much more value that Sierra Dental Tools is offering to the community, to the industry today. What are some of the things that you have added onto your, let's call it your offering in the last couple of months?
Nick started to touch on that. And, anybody who's in the industry is aware that removables are the new hotness. And I think the driving cause of that is our demographic change that we're going through. Baby boomers are starting to age out and require removables. That market is the fastest growing part of our industry right now. And so, as a dental lab, I've got to look at, okay, how can I make these restorations, these removables in a cost-effective way? And of course, that opens up the debate of, okay, do I print or do I mill? There are advantages to both processes, but our specialty is on the material removal process. Mm-hmm. And so we've been working with machine manufacturers, CAM software developers, in order to optimize the tooling that we put out there in the market in order to make it easier for labs to process a milled removable. best example of that is actually what we've done with Roland over the last few months, and Sim Systems over at Sim Systems, i.e. Millbox. And we've developed this new rapid roughing solution that cuts a denture milling time down like 40%. So it's still not as profitable as milling a full contour, but like for instance, in an hour you can mill 3-4 molars versus now a denture base will take you about 2 hours. But we've taken that down from 4 hours. So we're constantly looking for opportunities to improve processes for labs, and there are some things in the works that are a little bit kind of skunk works that I can't talk about. But if you guys follow us on social media and keep an eye on what Sierra's doing, you'll be the first to know. So with that, it's all about innovation and helping labs. Nick, I don't know if I ran over you there. I don't know if you have anything to add.
No, I'm curious to this because, you particularly spend a lot of time machining a lot of different materials. So we can find the correct feed rates and step downs per different machines. And then we can offer that solution to the CAM companies because if they're going to use our tool in this material, it's always been a guessing game from when I started this. It's, does it sound right? Is chip load right? Is it melting? There's all these things that we did over the years that we have both learned that now I can hear on the phone if somebody's aggressive cutting something or their tool is worn out just because I've been in it for so many years.
Yeah, it's audible.
And that's the thing that we offer too. When our tools are out there in the market, we do have the feeds and speeds, the step downs, everything designed for those materials, which is a turnkey solution from us, mainly because we've been to poor SAP having to R&D it ourselves at our labs. And super frustrating to call up the manufacturer, hey, can you give me feed and speeds? I don't know. And they hang up on you. And now they call us and we give them exact numbers.
I've probably broken $10,000 worth of tools in my career.
Yep,
I'll admit it. And it's user error, right? It's about iterating through and figuring out how it works. But if you look at any of Sierra's other content, you'll notice a through line, and that is that a milling tool is like it's part of the process, and a tool isn't just a tool. Like you can't just take any tool off the shelf and expect it to work without also addressing the characteristics of the material, the characteristics of the machine, and the milling parameters. It's all one package. And to my knowledge, Sierra is the only tool manufacturer who's offering that level of product support in the industry right now.
And so for our listeners and those of you that are watching on YouTube, all the information to follow, as Greg mentioned a second ago, is in the description below. So don't forget that. And I just want to throw that out there right now. I usually do it at the end of the show. So that's very interesting how the whole removables is really booming right now. A lot of great things you did mention, the milling, the printing, and obviously you folks are more into the milling. Now, when it comes to the CEs, when it comes to the ability to teach and to have webinars and everything, obviously as a friend, Alexander Wunsch, who was on the show last week, he was mentioning that we're probably already zoomed out, right? In the last 2 months after all this happened, we're all zoomed out, right? But what do you guys offer in terms of education or in terms of information that our listeners can, or our viewers also can log on and watch and listen and learn?
So the current state of business is we have a blog website that's called We Team Up, and actually the URL, which I'll send over to you, but we should put it down below as well, is weteamup-dental.com. And what that is, it's a blog and video site where we post up all of our educational content for free. And so anybody who wants to know more about tooling, machining, digital processes, that sort of thing, it's really our effort to team up with the industry. That's a play on the name. Yay. Super corny. And we've gotten a lot of good feedback. And the traffic is organic. We don't advertise it. I basically just throw a spot out here and there when we're talking on one of these things. And I would encourage anybody watching this, if they want to spend some time, to go ahead and take a look at that. And then on the other side of it, Nick and I are available to chat on the phone. So if you have something specific or want to talk about an application or something along those lines, we're happy to help. So I'm sure we'll have the contact information down there too.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. I'll second that too, is that if you just want somebody I used to get a lot of phone calls where lab owners would be driving home and they just need somebody to talk to because their wives or their partners don't care. So they would call and bump ideas off.
Nick's a very good idea reflector.
So I'll just listen just so they get to get it out. And then you'll be surprised how many people come up with their own brand new amazing ideas just because they had the ability to think it out and talk it out while they're driving home. I mean, it was quite entertaining over the years of doing that. Where it's 6:00 my time in Los Angeles, and I'm out mountain biking, whatever, and I see somebody, I'm like, hey, who's this? And I'll listen in, and it makes their day, it makes my day. So I appreciate that. So don't worry about it. Just give me a call, and I'll do the best I can to help you guys out.
And go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say one of the thing I really love most about this industry is how small it is, how everybody knows everybody. And, Nick and I, the Sierra team, we can usually help you out, but the benefit of having such a small industry is that if there's some issue that we haven't seen before, there's a network in place where we could point you in the right direction. I see myself, and I know that Nick is also the same way. We're connectors of people. We'll put two people together and hopefully make a better solution for whoever we're helping.
Yeah. And I've gotta definitely give it to you, Nick, because you personally did offer great amounts of support when I was working on that project on bringing a particular company into another company. They became the vendor. And so we were, I believe it was maybe like at the end of the day, obviously 5 o'clock is 2 o'clock your time, but we were at the end of the day and we called you. We had, who did we have? We had Ian O'Neill from Roland trying to get that solution. Which is a great individual as well. And you were on the phone. You stayed on the phone until we got that problem solved. So I can definitely attest to that commitment. And that's why when we started talking about having you guys on board, and Greg, again, I hadn't had the opportunity to actually work with you or speak with you on a different platform, but definitely with Nick, having that relationship and just seeing that commitment with Nick, I definitely wanted to bring you guys on the phone because obviously birds of a feather, right? So it was a great blessing to us where we were working on there, and it's great to know that there are people out there that really have an interest in the success of those that are out there on the front lines, and so that's great. So what do you guys have coming up? What do we have to look forward to in this 2020, possibly the beginning of 2021?
So I'll take that one. Sierra has historically been positioned to help the industry. We were the first ones to bring a nano die, a CVD diamond tool into this industry, and we really changed the landscape of what it meant to mill zirconia. Labs now can get 10 times the use out of a tool than they could out of a carbide. And so from the get-go, we've been about helping the dental lab, and that continues. So I mentioned that we've got some Skunk Works projects in the works. Some of the stuff's going to be hitting in 2021, maybe even later this year. And you can look forward to some non-tooling products, other things that might help the lab be more efficient. So I'll just leave that as a teaser.
Wow. Nick, can you give us a little more?
I have signed some documents that Nope, this is as far as we go on this one, but it is ingenuity is all I'm putting in there.
Well, I might add that, hey, everything, if you look at it, is a tool. If you use it to create value, you could say it's a tool.
Absolutely.
It might not be a milling tool, but it's a tool for the lab. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, guys, this is fun. I can't wait to break that one loose.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited, as you mentioned a moment ago, Nick, with everyone calling in and having that opportunity to speak with you folks. And Greg, you mentioned how this is definitely an opportunity to step up and come out stronger. I believe with gentlemen as yourself and individuals with a commitment to this industry and to each other, I think it's definitely going to bring forth great results. We're going to see great fruit come out of all this, and we're very excited to continue to see what you guys come up with, what Sierra Dental Tools is going to bring to the table so that this industry can continue to flourish. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, scroll down to the description below. You're going to be able to find all the information to follow Nick, Greg, the entire team right there. They already mentioned they are willing to take your calls. I can attest to that, definitely. And so, ladies and gentlemen, once again, all their information is there. Reach out to them. Anything else that you want to leave us with, Nick or Greg?
I might end on this. It's a difficult time, but we're all in it together, and the industry is going to come out stronger. And I know that for a fact.
Yeah, and same thing. It takes a village to raise quality. So let's all do it together.
Very good.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much for the time.
No, it's a pleasure having both of you, Mr. Greg Everett, Mr. Nick Alonge. It's been a pleasure. We're honored by having you on our show today. Ladies and gentlemen, follow them, like their content, and comment here the comments below, and we're looking forward to continuing to connect. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dental Today podcast.